I don't trust the news. I don't trust most of the media I see on the internet, on TV, if there's any TV. So I decided to document everything myself in order to enlighten everyone wondering about investing in the DRC, the Congo, the richest country in the world. So in today's chapter, I'm going to talk about cobalt. Cobalt is the #1 mineral when it comes to energy storage. So think of anything that needs to store energy needs cobalt, because cobalt acts as a superalloy that helps devices to resist to high heat. So think of jet engines, engines for airplanes. Think of electric cars storing energy. Think of your phone storing energy. Think of your computer, your household appliances. All of that needs cobalt. And according to Statista, 72% of the cobalt in the world, the known deposit of cobalt in the world, 72% is found right here in the DRC, in the Congo. And it gets even crazier when you learn that 20% only have been mapped. 20% of the mineral in the DRC only have been mapped. So 80% of the minerals right here are still unknown. That's why drone companies like Wingtra, like Rocket DNA, or mining companies like Glencore, like Ivanhoe, like Rio Tinto, like Zijin, like CMOC, all these giant companies need to be flocking here for them to be part of the exploration, to find more and more minerals to fuel the energy demand, the huge energy demand, the global energy demand that we face today in 2025. So before I even tell you about the opportunities around cobalt, let me say this. The ultimate dream for the Congolese population and its investors, its foreign investors too, would be to create factories that produce cobalt finished products, factories that can serve companies like Nvidia, companies like Microsoft, companies like Tesla, companies like Samsung, like Winbond. These companies manufacture semiconductors. These companies manufacture These companies manufacture electric cars, the real backbone of the modern economy. These companies really are the real end users of our minerals. I said our because I'm Congolese myself. These companies are the real end users of our minerals. And building factories here would be like building a restaurant right next to the farm where its food comes from. So let's look at some of the opportunities around cobalt. First of all, let me give you a quick story about the situation of cobalt right now in the DRC. Like I said in my previous video, China is the biggest explorer, and exporter of cobalt in the DRC. They've got the biggest cobalt mine in the world right here. And they had the audacity to go and sign another deal with Indonesia for the production of nickel. But anyone who's in mining knows that when you produce nickel, that means you produce cobalt. So it created an oversupply of cobalt in the global market, and it drew the price very, very low. That was hurting the global economy and the Congolese economy. So the DRC government decided to lock the doors, no more cobalt coming out of the DRC. The government did that to create scarcity. They said, well, if you want to go and source cobalt in Indonesia, very well, do it. We're going to close our doors. And it worked because the price went from $25,000 to $35,000 in a few weeks. So there's a huge pile of cobalt sitting in the DRC as of today, September 1st, 2025. So what are the opportunities around it? Number one, I would say the first opportunity for you, stranger, foreigner sitting in France, in Paris, in France, in America, sitting in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, wondering about investing in the DRC. First thing you could do is buy shares. Buy shares in these mining companies. Buy shares in Glencore. Buy shares in Ivanhoe. Buy shares in CMOC. Buy shares in Zijin. Buy shares in all the companies that are mining cobalt in the DRC. These companies are huge companies. They are publicly traded, most of them. Buy shares even in the new companies that are not publicly traded. Find a way to buy shares. There's always a way to be involved with a company like Virtual Mineral, which is an American company that is recently operating in the DRC, recently because of the deal that the DRC made with the US. A company like Cobalt is now a company also that is operating in the DRC. There's also a company called VCO, which is almost like the mother company of Virtual Mineral. So research all these companies and buy shares, get involved. Own these companies, and like that you will have a little bit of an interest in knowing what's going on in the DRC. How are my shares doing? You don't have to buy thousands of dollars. Buy $20, $40, $50, $100. Buy shares and feel involved in the DRC. The second step would be to pursue a career in these companies. Maybe you're an engineer. Maybe you are a safety inspector. You're interested in mining. You are in the mining sector. You have some money you want to put in the DRC. Find a career with these companies. You would be surprised to see how much they need expertise. Check on their website. They always need people, geological people, geology engineers, even civil engineers too, inspectors, safety inspectors. In fact, mining is huge in safety. There's a whole career to be done with safety in mining. You could be a lot in the mining industry in the DRC. Working for them, for these companies, will give you a nice entry to the country. You'll have a job, a salary. You'll walk around with their little tag. They'll give you all the nice perks that comes with being employed. So being that in a foreign country sort of gives you cushions to walk around the place. The third and maybe the most interesting way is to create a company in the DRC. Now, according to the law, you would be much better off partnering with a DRC citizen, with a Congolese person, to open a company. So if you wish to get more info about that, just drop me an email and I will give you a step-by-step procedure on how to do so. Costs about $400 US dollars